At the Cannes Film Festival this year, the prestigious Pierre Ingenue Award is being awarded to Mr. Santosh Sivan, and that award is for excellence in cinematography. And many congratulations, sir, first on the award.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for talking to us.
Yeah.
You are now in the league of Roger Deakins and Wilmore Zsigmond and so many great names. How does it feel to be in that league now?
I think I feel really good about that. In fact, 10 years back, I felt like this when I was invited to be a member of the American Society of Cinematographer. I was the first Indian, obviously, and then so it's a similar feeling. But ASC was something that I wanted to be. Ingenue was a total surprise, actually. But I guess because of the kind of work you have done, that is the kind of work these people are looking for to applaud and I like this because I feel that even in India when we have festivals, we should have an honor for not just directors and actors, also for technical people, and celebrate cinema in a very uniform and whole way, which I think will happen soon. Because I feel a lot of Indian government presence is here, so obviously they learn that this is how a festival should be conducted and this is what matters.
I was just coming to that the technical aspect of filmmaking is largely given a secondary treatment in many ways than one. As you said, actors, actresses, the more glamorous element takes away the cake. Do you feel that is changing now? Or is
I
it
think in South it is not so much. In South the artist really gets a good recognition. In Bombay also, the people related to that give importance to technicians, but not the people. Whereas in South, like Tamil Nadu, Kerala, or Andhra, the people also celebrate these people, which is very different.
And just rewinding back to your career, you studied at FTII.
Yeah.
Do you remember what was that moment that prompted you to study filmmaking and that too cinematography?
No, I was always interested in cinematography because I used to sketch. So my grandmother used to teach me sketching, and she used to teach in the palace. So she had access to all these beautiful Raja Ravivarma paintings. So she would show the paintings and illustrate the story. So that then you start imagining and creating the place which existed, which was your first visual education. Then my father was a very renowned photographer and documentary filmmaker. So I used to travel with him. And I used to love the way you travel and saw new places and met new people. And it was a different kind of learning because this is a kind of learning that you can't get in a school or institute. So I always made up my mind that I will do a job which only encourages travel. And not a 9-to-5 job. So I was very clear. Initially they made fun of me, but the fact is that you are very clear and you are not very... So I thought this was the best thing, so I joined FTI. FTI is a great place to learn. I think it is one of the best institutes in Pune. And in fact, this year also, so many FTI people are here actually, which proves it's a great place to be. Because it really shows you different kind of cinema and shows that we also have to be out of the world. Right?
And I read in an interview where you mentioned that travel is number one and everything else comes secondary. Could you elaborate on that in terms of learning?
In terms of learning, see, I learned photography in Film Institute also. But before that itself, I have learned from my dad and all that. But most of the interesting things I learned had come from my travel. It is not about photography, but I put it into photography. I put those experiences into photography. For example, I was teaching tribal children in Arunachal Pradesh, photography, for Vivekananda Kendra. And now, Arunachal Pradesh 35 years back was nothing, it's all forest. Even now it's only forest actually. And so from Kerala, it took about 8 or 9 days to reach there. I go to a school in the middle of great, vast jungle, and there it's a small school, and there they have made Gandhi statue, but they made Gandhi like them. Big muscles, shoulder muscles like hill people. and the stick is like he's going to hit. So I said, why? Gandhi was not like that. He was a non-violent person. Then they said, no, sir. He lifted the stick and all the Britishers ran away. So they have their own way of
Interpretation.
Yeah. So these people, when their dog died, they took it to the forest. They decided to bury it. And they buried it 6 feet deep, they dug under a tall tree. They waited for them to see the root, then only they buried the dog. Then they told me, then only the dog will become the flower. And according to the tribal wisdom that they have, the idea is that only if there is a good blend of darkness and light is there mystery and there's life. Otherwise, there's no life to anything. So I thought I will put it into my work. So I will try to get a good blend of light and darkness and treat light and shade like a melody in music and composition and camera movement like a rhythm. So I see cinematography like music.
How do you keep reinventing yourself? You've been in the industry for such a long time now. And
That's the most difficult part. So the fact is that you have to motivate yourself. So I motivate myself by dedicating whatever I do to someone I love very much, like my mother or father or someone. Then it's a tribute, the film I'm shooting or directing. Then I make sure that I make myself give everything very honestly and from the heart, pure. It is not like, flicking flowers from here and there and giving it to God. I try to grow my own garden, make the flowers and give it. So I try to be honest like that. So it's a good motivation. It makes you, the moment you feel tired, you will say, oh, I'm doing it for my mother. I better get up in the morning and go and shoot. So I do like that.
Right. And how did direction come about? Was there, you always wanted to direct?
Yeah, actually after this Arunachal thing, I wanted to make a film. So I made a film before I shot. Then I got lots of awards for short film, including IMBA, all that. Then they all started giving me a lot of these documentary short fiction films. Then I said, no, I want to be a cinematographer. So I started shooting. But I wanted to make films which have stayed with me in school. So I made children's film.
Yes.
Then someone asked me, oh, you make only children's film. So I made a film for the terrorists.
Yeah.
Then I said, oh, you
Which I
only...
believe you shot in 17 or 18 days.
Yeah. That is actually very interesting because it was the first film in Sundance. It was nominated for Independent Spirits. Then John Malkovich picked it up and released it. It won more than 18 international awards. So it was a very good experience. It's a small film. Then I made a big historical film like Ashoka. So I think for me, directing a film is just like having fun with it. Not really making a living out of it. I shoot to make it.
And how do you decide to dabble in different languages? You made films in Hindi.
Because
in
I
Tamil.
always believe that visual language is universal. So I don't care about language. Visual language has no boundaries, no borders. So I've traveled from Kerala all the way to Hollywood. So I feel that that is something that I should embrace. So I actually don't mind. And in today's time with all these OTT platforms, people are used to seeing Mexican films with subtitles. So they've got used to it.
Right. And I think no interview with you will be incomplete without mentioning your collaboration with Mani Ratnam.
Yeah.
You've done 6 short films with him.
Yeah.
How did that come about? How did that start? I believe it started from Raak when he saw
He saw something of when Test Reel was there. So he asked me to shoot something. Then I did a film called Perindachan, which I got a national award for. Then he saw some rushes of that. Then he offered me this Dalpati.
Yes.
It's a big film. So till then I was not used to shooting big films.
And there were 2 big stars also.
Big film. And I was from Kerala. So but I think it was once we started working with him, because he's a very interesting person, you can talk about painting, anything. So I found the relationship very costly. Then of course after that he wanted to do something very different, so we did Roja. Then after that he wanted to do something really different from Roja. Then we did Iruvar, which is really different.
And it's had a very nice shot.
Then he wanted to do something, that also I got a national. Then he wanted to do something very different. Then we did Dil Se. So I think it just kept carrying. Rav and
And they were all different films that you how is it like collaborating? You know, I mean, you're a genius in your own right. He's a genius in his own right. So how does the collaboration work? Are there conflicts at any time, or difference of opinions, or how does it work?
Actually, we collaborate in a very interesting way because we spend a lot of time before the film. So when you go to shoot, there's no reason to have a conflict. Whatever conflicts you have had or suggestions you have to make, has been done before. So we prepare a lot, including music. I remember during Roja, Mani, me and Air stayed on Beach Resort through the whole music, selecting tunes. So even for Dalbadi with Ilayaraja, we did that. So I think everything starts from then on. How you actually will film it or whatever.
The homework is most important.
Yeah. I think so.
Most important. Yeah. Which would perhaps be you would most fondly think of your collaboration with Mani Ratnam of all the films that you've done? There's so many of them.
All the films have been different.
In them, yeah.
They've all been different and very difficult also. But that's why all of the films are very close to my heart.
Right.
Now I'm actually very kicked about a film I'm doing,
Yeah.
which I'm directing. It's called Suni. It is based on the life of Habba Khatun, Kashmiri. So I shot about 15%. So I'm now looking at doing the rest of it. Meanwhile, I'll finish shooting Lahore 47, and then I'm doing that Shivaji, which Ritesh Deshmukh is
Ritesh
directing.
Deshmukh, yeah.
So after that, I will do this. So that's what I'm most excited about.
That also sounds very, very exciting. You know, how have you seen the filmmaking process and particularly cinematography process change over the years? Nowadays, you know, people shoot with mobile cameras and equipments have become lighter and smaller. So your thoughts on that?
No, I think it changes. I think digital cameras have made it possible to say that you have different cameras for different courses, like horses for different courses. So before it used to be big, heavyweight stuff, but now you can go and shoot without anyone knowing. So it gives you more flexibility. It's up to you to choose which you want.
Right. Now in India, all cinematographers or budding cinematographers, they look up to Santosh Sivan. Whom do you look up to, or who are your favorite cinematographers whose work you look up to?
I used to really enjoy the work of Subrata Mitra, then Ashok Mehta, K.K. Mahajan, V.K. Murthy, all are greats.
Yes.
Then some foreign cinematographers like Nestor Almendros, Torero, Wilmore Sigmund. I used to love these people, Gordon Willis. So I think all these people's work you have seen, indirectly they have taught you something. So I am only taking off from where they started.
Right. Now, we were talking about Iruvar earlier, and there's a lovely shot which you've composed with the top angle which has been taken. So talk us about these different ideas that come through. Is it collaborative or is it just instinctive?
Yeah, I think it's a collaboration. So you will say, okay, after you do this, we will have a discussion. How can we film this? Then we have some conventional ways. Then they'll say, okay, let us do it out of convention. Then you come up with all these ideas.
Right.
And it's organic. It's not prepared before.
Right.
Because all those top angle shots you're saying like that. Today it is easy to do that because we have machinery for that. Those days nothing was there.
Yes.
So you have to improvise.
Right. And is it a constant learning process, or at some point there's some kind of saturation that the trade, or is it?
See, it's a constant learning process, and also this desire to film so many things that are in my mind that I sometimes feel one lifetime is not enough. I feel to even capture things in India.
Yeah.
That is why I feel that forget LA and all that, because after ASC I got an offer to be there and settle there. But I thought I am an Indian guy, I like my village and all that. So this is what I know best. So let me be here and do whatever I feel like here.
You've also done some huge big budget films, you've also done some very independent films. So what attracts you or what draws you primarily to a particular project?
It depends. I also do documentaries.
Yeah,
like farming documentaries and things. So I think, if it interests me, then I'll do it. It doesn't matter whether it's a big film or a small film or a documentary. But if you think that I would like to spend 1 month following the life of a farmer, I'm very happy. And that also will change your mind, because I suddenly, after shooting that film, I bought land in Pondicherry and made a big forest there. In 7 years' time, it became a forest. So I missed out a lot of opportunities to make films that time. But I thought this was also very interesting. To have a place where the birds which come, the butterflies that land up. So it is very good fun to see that also. Or the trees you planted having flowers or fruits. It's an amazing field. So I sometimes thought that if you are not a cinematographer, maybe you would have been a farmer. Because it's both connected to nature.
Yes.
Yeah.
And both involves a lot of hard work as well.
It is, see, you don't see it as hard work if you enjoy it. If you enjoy the whole process, then I don't think you see it as hard work.
Right.
Even shooting a film and all, you shoot all nights and all that. But if you don't see it as a hard work, if you enjoy it, if the film is boring and you don't enjoy it, then it's hard work.
Right.
But if you enjoy it, it's not hard work.
No, and just a question on Indian cinema as such. Our films are largely very dialogue heavy. Everything is explained and told. Where to certain degrees there's limited scope to tell stories visually. So do you face that conflict, and what are your thoughts on that? Where you want to say something visually, because cinema being a visual medium, but our films by and large, not all of them, but our mainstream films particularly, they're very dialogue heavy.
Yeah, I think some people are used to that actually. They also want to be told what is happening. For example, for me, if two of us are sitting and there's 2 pages of dialogue saying that we are childhood friends, I am not interested in that. I would very well visually tell the story if you take this glass and drink it from it. So it is understood that we are childhood friends or some friends.
Right.
So that is a visual storytelling. So we tend to see things like that.
Right.
As a cinematographer.
Right. So, but do you face a conflict that in Indian films?
No, I think it's up to a director's vision that he wants. Because if you're a very dialogue-oriented or dialogue-writing person, that's how he sees it. You might have a conflict with him, but the fact is that it is his film, he's seeing it that way. Better go with that way, no? Otherwise, in the first place, why did you accept to shoot it?
Right. Right. And what is the most challenging? Direction, documentaries, cinematography?
Documentaries is challenging. Cinematography is very zen. You relate to nature, you have a nice relationship with the actors and director and all that. After that, you can disappear to your own life. Whereas if you're a director, you have to interact with actors, the people who put in money, everything. It's a lot of interaction to organize. So that's a difficult.
Yeah.
And documentaries is good because you're not relying on big equipment and all that. You're just enjoying yourself and discovering someone's life.
It's more personal.
Yeah. It's like, in a way, like still photography.
Right. And again, just coming back to the other question that I asked you, what is the big change that you have seen in the way the industry functions over the years, especially in India? Between 30-40 years you've been working now.
Now I think
in
in India, in Bombay, in Hindi films and all that, it has got an order like in the West. We have the first lady who's charting and planning nicely. And the most interesting thing that happened is that everyone is paid correctly. And there is definitely a structure to payments. It is not like you're not paid. So before it never used to be like that. Now there's a system where you have contracts and you're paid.
Once again, many congratulations
Thank
on
you
your
so
award and thank you so much for coming to us.
Thank you.
हाय माझं नाव सुयश कामत आणि हांव फर्स्ट टायम हांगा कान्स फिल्म फेस्टिवल अटेंड करता आणि कान्स इज लायक म्हणजे सगळ्यां खातीर इज लायक अ मेका ऑफ सिनेफिलिया ऑल दीस बिग फेस्टिवल्स आनी सदां आमी पयसुल्ल्यान पळयता की इट इज वॉट फिलींग वूड इट बी एंड वेन वी वॉच फिल्म्स इन इफ यू बी लायक ओ दीस हॅज गॉट टू कान वॉट एवर पूण हांगा येवन जेन्ना फिल्म्स पळयता यू आर सीइंग इट फॉर द फर्स्ट टायम विथ एन ऑडियन्स आनी हांगा and the good feeling is that I am here as a part of the team. एक film केले आमी All We Imagine Is Light. So I was the director's assistant for that film. So last 1 year I was working on that film with her. And that film is playing in the main competition. And फाल्यां आमचो premiere आसा. So I'm very excited to watch the film with everybody. And there's a lot of excitement and buzz that after a long time there's an Indian film in the main competition. So that's a reason to also be worried, but a reason of excitement as well. आणि हांगा फूल द सिटी, द वे इट्स गियर्ड अप फॉर द फेस्टिवल, आनी एक वेगळोच एटमॉस्फियर आसा, अशें केन्ना खंयच पळोवना. And the quality of films and the culture around the filmmaking is mind-boggling, and I'm very glad every second I pinch myself that this is very surreal, that this is not happening. You only dream of these things, but I'm very happy it has happened, and I'm enjoying every bit of it. So how पहिली I had done an undergrad course which had like a minor in filmmaking, and then later I joined Satyajit Ray Film and Television Institute as a film student. आणि आता सध्या I am making a few short films of my own. I had made a short film called Sadabahar a couple of years back, which is about a band in Goa, and now I'm looking to sort of, after this film, after learning under Payal, and which has also been a very different kind of education compared to film school, because she has a very unique way of working. So म्हाका दिसता की now I want to try and attempt and maybe making my own feature and someday be at some festival and have a feeling that I'm being here as a part of a team.